Okay, and from the great province and southern Alberta ranching area, once again, let's welcome Dustin Sippola. He brought his own cheering section. We've got 45 minutes, Dustin, and we'll start the time now.
Alrighty. I'm just gonna move him around here for a second. When he's ready to be caught, I'll catch him. We'll see how he is today. After a couple of rounds yesterday. I'm not going to be in no hurry. Just thinking about it. I would rather get my saddle on him, I'll turn him loose and warm him up. He can travel around the pen. He might as well be packing my saddle a little bit in case he's a little cinchy today. When he's feeling, check him out. If he wants to go, I just let him roll around. I don't try to pull him in the ground or stop him. He can decide to stop his own feet. Things always work way better if it's your horse's idea than if you're trying to make him do stuff. It'll never look better than when it's the horse's idea to do it. A little bit touchy there. I'm just going to rub on him until he finds a spot. There. Check him out here, rub on his legs. Make sure I can reach under there to grab my cinch.
Somebody bring the fork, quick.
He can get used to that kind of stuff. There. Pretty good.
Hey, Dustin, when you're sizing up a colt for something like this or at home, how important is the pedigree to you? Do you like to really look back into the bloodlines, or do you not put a lot of importance on that?
Oh, I don't dwell on them too much, but I'm pretty aware of it. You know, there will be a lot of similar traits, certain bloodlines, but at the same time, I don't rely on it 100%. You know, I'll go off gut feeling quite a bit.
How about you, Cade?
I'm the same, yeah. Usually the way you feel about them when you work them is what makes you decide whether or not you want them. That being said, a reputable breeder has, there's a lot of weight in that when you're looking for a horse. There's breeders that have had the same bloodlines for a long time and for good reason.
Like I said, I'll saddle from either side. I'm not stuck on one side. I prefer to go back and forth a little bit. It only balances out your horse. If you're not careful, you'll make your horse one-sided. They want to do that as it is anyway. Pretty easy to create it. When I saddle my colts, I always stay up by his shoulder. If he was to be cinchy, got rode twice yesterday. If he was a little cinchy today and jumped and wanted a cow kick, all I got to do is step away. But if I'm back here by his belly, I got nowhere to go and stand sideways. You're in a spot to get kicked. You know, he's probably not going to do it, but I spent so long creating my habits that I do without thinking. One day he is going to be a broke horse, and I'll saddle him a little more like he is. But when you're only on your first couple days or few days or a week, things can change pretty fast. One day to the next, they get a little cinchy and sore or muscle sore. I'll check him out here a little bit before I turn him loose. If he goes to blow up, I'll try support him. Keep him from getting too scared and send him off. There. Meaning that I've only rode him once, I'll turn him loose here and I'll let him go around, free up. I'm not opposed to making sure my horses are warmed up. There was a time I didn't worry so much about it, but the older you get, the more the ground hurts. I'll just wait here. I'll see if I can get him to drop his head here. There's a try. There. A little bit by accident, but it happened.
Little release of tension there. It's been said that when a horse's head is below his withers and his ears are ahead, his brain is releasing endorphins, and when his head is above his withers and his ears are slightly back, his brain is releasing adrenaline. Now, I don't know if that's right or not, but that's what I've heard from time to time.
I'm just going to wait, just holding pressure. I'm not digging in. You can help them a little bit. Your hand on their head, sometimes they'll find it quicker. There. That's better. Wait again. There. I'll ask him one more time. There. Once more. There. Pretty good try. I always step to their hip and walk off. I don't get out in front of him. I don't want to be able to see both eyes. He's still green. If he got scared and bucked and come forward, if you see both eyes, you're kind of in his line of fire. He'll run you over, searching up for comfort. Get run over once or twice, you probably will step to the side next time. I'm going to be kind of careful here how much pressure I put on when he's looking at stuff. I don't want to startle him in there. I'll put a brace in him. There, trot there. Let's see if he'll come back to the walk. There. He's think checking out something. There. There. You can look at the noodle. Horse should be able to move off when you want him to move off, and stay put when you want to catch them. They can know the difference. If you're not careful, you can train them to be planted in the ground too much, or the other way, you'll have them so they won't stop. There, he wants to drive him on through here. I don't attack him right there where he's switching eyes. It's a good place to get one startled and put brace in. You're going to see I get this a little better today. On his left eye. There. That's a good change. Nice expression. I'll see if he'll let me pet him. I change my energy in my body from when I'm flagging to when I want to catch him. If he wants to walk off, I'll just come over here. If he keeps backing up, I'll switch it up and come to the side. If you're not careful, you'll teach him to keep backing away from you. There, that's pretty good. Now I'm going to drive him off with my body. He can learn to move off. There. See, passes Tarp, noodles. I'll see if I'll tip him into a lope. See if I can get his right lead. There. Nice. I don't try to keep him there. It's always another opportunity to start over. Build some confidence in his transitions. So when I'm on his back, that'll reflect a little bit. I hope. There. I'll see if he'll stay put. If he doesn't, that's all right. There, saved it. Let's try. Another try. There, better. It's pretty good. Now I'm going to move him off with my body. There. There, that was a good change. He didn't try to turn around. There, he's going right there.
Boy, is he quick.
Too busy talking.
And so is the horse.
He's handy like a shirt pocket.
See if I can tip him into lope. There, picked it. Oh, crossfire. Start over. There, that was better. There. Still looking around at stuff. Crossfiring again. We'll start over. Pick up his left lead. Dragging that lead. There. There's a good change. Let's see if he'll turn it in here. I'm not gonna. It's all right. We'll drive him off again. See if we can get that hair better here.
Boy, sometimes you just get really smart.
That's how you know you got good seats.
There. There. I'm gonna let him smell that noodle. I don't want to put pressure on here when he's trying to be curious. I let him be curious.
For those of you that weren't here yesterday, if you look at page 33 in your program, it's got the exact judging sheets our panel of judges has here. And if you guys want to score along, you can turn them in at the office, or I think you can put them in online, and there's going to be a People's Choice Award at the end. I think there's a jacket or some kind of swag. So if you guys are judging along, pick your favorite and make sure the show knows about it.
When a horse is wanting to be curious, looking at stuff, I allow him the opportunity to do that. I don't want to squash it. You squash it, and then it'll be harder to get him to get curious again. I'm going to drive him back there. There. This is the spot. Roll around, see if you pick up his left lead. There, that's better. When I'm at home, I make sure my horses are freed up before I start, or I can get on them and ride them, and they can lope around and get free in their feet before I throw too much stuff, obstacles at them or anything, well, which I don't do real early at home anyway. Where you live where the wind blows 100 miles an hour, if it's not nailed down, it's out of the wind. Some horses will handle that, but you'll fry some horses. They cannot handle that when stuff gets popping and won't stop. So I'm real careful at home when I use tarps or obstacles or even a flag.
Yeah, that's beautiful country, but the wind does come with it.
There's good change. Kind of watching behind him a bit. That's all right. We'll go back over here. See what happens. That's better. If he can get used to some of this stuff a little bit on his own, it'll make it easier when I get on his back.
Got a half an hour to go, Dustin, 30 minutes.
Okay. There, he's getting a little more comfortable. If I get on him and he's still looking around and tight everywhere, the chances of success are going to be a lot lower. If he's not good with it when I'm on the ground, how is he going to be good with it when I'm on his back? Now I tell him move away, but he'll figure it out here to stay put again in a minute. Sometimes you lose one thing a little bit, gain another, but that's all right. It's an opportunity to rebuild, get them better. Dragging the hind lead. It won't hurt for him to get a little exercise still anyway, move around. He's got some go. Still once in a while gets a bit of kink in his tail. I would rather that get better before I get on.
If you guys are looking something for the kids to do today, there is a scavenger hunt. If you stop by the office, you can get a sheet for it for the kids. It's kind of fun. I know my kids are going to be in there and they're pretty competitive, so get a head start on them.
There again, if he wants to be curious to smell that tarp, I'll allow him. I won't get too, it's easy to get too focused on yourself and what your plan is. Then you can miss those little opportunities when it's their idea. Wait on him here, he'll find it. Kind. There. 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 I want him to get comfortable in here. It's kind of a vulnerable spot when their eyes below you. They're allowing themselves to relax. There. 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 That was better.
Do you start all your colts in a Boselle, Dustin?
What's that, sorry?
Do you start all your colts in a Boselle?
Well, I haven't for a long time. I just kind of started doing it again. When I was cowboy and I started everything in a Boselle, and that's pretty much all I rode them in for the first couple months. But when you ride horses for the public, there's not too many people that want it anymore. It was something I really enjoyed, and I'm just kind of starting to do it again. For myself, mainly.
I have a lot of people ask me about bitless bridles, and I'm like, have you tried a Boselle? They're like, no, maybe I should try that. I'm like, yeah, might be a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good bitless bridle.
I'm just going to wait here. See if he'll move his hind end over. I got sloppy, drop my rein. There. There.
Did you braid that Boselle, Dustin?
No, not this one. Edward Waldner braided this one. He's a pretty good braider. He does a better job than I do, so.
Gosh, I can't imagine the patience that takes. Wow.
It's a lost art for sure.
When you have a colt long enough to go through the whole vaquero process properly, and it takes years, but when you're finally past the two reins straight up on the bridle and working cattle, there's nothing like that feel.
That's why you don't-
check out his tail. See if that's tight. That's kind of a tight spot there. The tarp, you got to be aware of that. Could get scared in there. You be kind of careful. There, it's better. There, there. Let's see if he'll stop his feet. There. Push and pull on that saddle horn. There. You can teach one if you got a horse that's wanting to move off all the time when you're going to get on. You can push and pull on your saddle horn just until that foot's about to move and then quit. It's just a slow, steady pull, and they'll learn to plant their feet. Get ready for you to get on. Something that'll help you out if you got one that's always trying to move off on you. He wants to move, I just hang out here. If things got too bad, I step down. Check my horses out on both sides. He's still a little touchy, that's all right. That's okay. Step down, start over. Got to get better at that in there. I'd rather him get some of this out of the system before I get on his back. Make it. I don't want those tight spots in there before I get on. Preferably. They might show up anyway, but that's better. I'm gonna wait till those feet stop here. Stay in close. You'll find a spot there. Better. There. I might tip his head, rub on him. Something you can't overdo. One thing you can't do too much of riding colts, this right here. They'll learn to hunt that up. Seeking comfort. And see if you can take a step there. If you get onto that, pushing on that neck, that is a very useful tool. Free one up. We'll do it again. There. As soon as he takes a step, I quit putting pressure on the neck. You can drift around here.
20 minutes to go now, Dustin. 20 minutes.
There. There, work his mouth. Get change. See, pick up his left lead. Pretty nice. That was soft. Nice transition. There. He's still not used to me rubbing his rump too good, but he'll get there. There. I'll bend him to the inside. There. Hip stepped over. Good. Start again. We'll go to the right. See what he does when he comes by this tarp. There, getting better. There. Let's see if I can tip him into his right lead. Wrong lead, that's okay. We'll just let him come back. We'll start over. There. Go again. There. Nice transition. I want those to build. Allow him to go up and come back. Check him out a little. Kick his hip over. That's pretty good. Even get a little step in his front foot. There. I'll tip him over here. See if he'll kick his hip over. There. Pretty good. See if he'll step front foot. There. Start. See what happens. Come over here. He needs to get used to me moving around. You know. He get used to that. He's quite a bit better than he was yesterday. He was still a little bit tight at the end. But it's amazing if you can leave on a good note how much they'll come around on their own the next day without having to do a whole bunch of drilling. That's kind of what my deal is. Try to do less to get more. Some people understand it, some won't. That's all right. If it's something that interests you, come have a visit. If not, find somebody else that intrigues you.
Listen to that rhythm. Oh.
Kick his hip out of gear. That's pretty nice. See what happens here. Grab my flag. Now when I first grab my flag on one, it goes in between my shoulder blades. Then I bring it out. It goes back. Bring it out. Goes back. See if it gets forward there. I quit. If he gets scared, it goes behind my back. If it's too bad, I drop it. There's no shame in dropping it. You can get used to that stuff. You know, nice transition, like that. See you kick his hip out of gear. There, good. See if we can step front. There. Go the other way. Get used to this stuff. There. I don't overdo it. I hold it one spot, I go away to another. I don't dangle it down here and hold it down at their feet. The bad spot to be, you get one cow kicking, get them blowing up, you get them afraid out of an eye doing that. See if I get a turn on the tarp. He's thinking about smelling it. This is a spot you might want to be ready. If something happened, he could blow up, or he might just be good. That was a good try.
I get so totally engrossed in watching Dustin here that I forget to watch the clock sometimes. It's just fascinating. We got 15 minutes left, though. 15 minutes to go.
See if we can go across some noodles. There. See if I can get them a little sticky there. Oh, there. Settle for that. Come back to the tarp. See what happens here. There. It's all right. It's important not to get tight in those spots. If you can stay relaxed, it'll help your horse get relaxed. Most of the time it'll work, sometimes it don't. Ooh, he's thinking. I'm in no hurry. I'm not trying to put him on it. I'm letting him smell. He's getting pretty close. There. I can make a big issue out of that if I wanted, but I'll try not to. There. See if I can get him drift around here. There. There. Ah, nice transition. Picked up left lead. Step his hip over. Good. Go across the noodle. Come back to the tarp. See what happens. I'll do this as many times as it needs to happen. I am not going to make him put a foot on there. Oop. I did by touching his rump by accident.
I probably don't want him pawing on it.
But he survived. It's getting closer. It's better. Get good with the flag. A little bit touchy on the left eye. I'm just going to be real soft here, give him time to find it, or I'll let it go. I don't try to hold him in there. What I'm after, I miss it lots, but I try to release him more closer to the thought than when the feet are moving. I want to do it when his brain's starting to change and he's thinking. If you wait for the feet, you're too late. It's a hard thing to do. It's a constant thing I work at. There we go. Whoop. Handled that. That's why I put sand on them. If it's right loose, light, they'll pull it right back under themselves. Sand will help it stay. I'm going to try to not let him paw. Ah, that's a nice try. Better. We're going to have to get a gate. You got to get used to some of this. Get that. I don't dwell on it. Let him sniff that tart. Be curious. Maybe I'll slide it. I leave it. I don't hang right onto it. You know, he needs to get used to this stuff. He's going to have to be used to that. I'm going to have to get a gate one day. See, I'll bend him back into this tarp. See if I can get him to get curious. There. 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 I leave him there. Rub on him. There. Go back to tarp. See what happens. See what happens here.
Thank you.
There. There.
Oh, nice.
There. Working his lips. It's good.
Probably.
There.
Did she bring you one?
In no hurry here. He needs to think, but I want to keep him from pawing it. So it's kind of a fine line. See if we can go across the orange noodle. There. Over the pink. Go back over here. Check out this tarp. Get better with it. That's good. I try not to get stuck on one thing. Wiggle it just a little. Pretty vulnerable spot, but he handled it. Move it again, that's okay. Check those spots out a little. Now this time when I come by it, he's gonna be a little more aware because I moved it. See if he'll check it out again. If he checks it out, I'm not gonna move it this time. You can just get a little more sure of it. If you keep doing the same thing over and over, again, I could build him to get scared of it, really get watching. Switch it up, go do something else. Check something else out. You know, all that stuff. It's good stuff. It's important to keep your brain moving for thinking, not get stale. Wiggle that. There, you'll get better with this stuff. I'm not going to pick it up. I just want to get them so I can move that back and forth. If I ever need to get a slicker off the fence or anything, you know, that's a good way to build some confidence. Did he just step on that? Yeah. There's a bad spot. Now we're going to do some liberty. Oh, well, that's all right. I can demo this. Might be some good in it. Again, good example of what not to do.
Oh, my.
Don't be sloppy. Like that.
Oh, Daffy, you're a rock star.
He always got to be able to improvise. He's got to get used to my rope anyway. We'll just move him around.
There's something else we might say, don't try this at home, folks, at least not early on. Oh,
There.
my.
You can get steering him with this. You get a horse that's touchy with eyes, you know, you can steer him around with your rope. Oh, I'll let him be curious here. He'll check that out. You know, this is all good stuff. There's no horse in the world that won't benefit from this stuff right here. You know, we'll see what we can do. I'm going to see if he doesn't like that there. It's kind of, there. That was a big try. I'll see if I can go there. Doesn't work, that's okay. You start over. I don't keep it there. He's setting up to go that way. I'll just go with him. There. You know, start using their idea a little bit. There.
Turning into a sweet spot for him.
Now let's see if I get him go to the right. A little touchy on this eye. But you get one that's bad with eyes. This right here, if you can do it, stay relaxed, will benefit a lot of horses. Benefit any horse.
Yesterday, Dustin, you used 5 minutes extra to work on the tarp. It's sure paying off today.
Yeah. How much time we got left?
Just under 7 minutes.
Okay. Getting pretty good with the tarp now. Getting where I can steer him a little better. Not nearly as tight. A little bit of bracing there, but not bad. He thinks this tarp's pretty good now. You know, let's test this out. Kind of a tight spot. See if I can get him to go over here. There. That's pretty good. You have to get to where I can swing my rope anyhow. I don't go to swinging. I just wiggle it back and forth. You reach up. That didn't work. See if I can be smoother. See if I can hook his nose. Not gonna work. That's okay. You can just get used to things moving around. There. I'm just a passenger. There, we'll steer him back over here. I don't bang him. I'm just holding it there. I don't like to get banging on him. There. Work his lips. Work both sides at the same time. Sometimes if you do two things at once, it'll help. There, I can swing. There. Still a little touchy about that. See if we go this way. There. You know, if you're not dragging on their face, and you let them go, a horse will rarely buck. You know, they might get tight, but they're free to move their feet. They're not confined in any way. That's the fun thing about this. You know, he doesn't like that. We'll go slow. He'll get to where I can flick it on there. Go back and forth. Worst thing you can do is confine your horse. I mean, sometimes there is situations, but more than not, you probably don't need to do it. Yeah, you're getting better. Used to that going over his head. Check that tarp out, see if we go to the left. There. A little more. There. There, he's still thinking turn back there. Better. He's get used to that. Now I can see if I can kick his hip. There. Good.
4.5 minutes now, Dustin. 4.5 to go.
4.5.
Yeah.
I tip him back this way. If you got one that's scared of a rope, this is a very good thing to do. And then they learn that it's not going to hit them. The only reason they're afraid of a rope is because they think they're going to get whacked by it, or maybe the sound. But generally, it's because they think they're going to get hit. More times than not, I'll get his nose again. Step him over. There, pretty good. Just because you have a halter on doesn't mean you can't get off. I don't want to get off when he's on the tarp. Get his nose. I wiggle. One motion.
Whole new meaning to baitless bridle right there. Nice job.
He's about had enough, so I'm just going to use my remainder time to...
3 minutes now. 3 minutes.
3 minutes?
3.
I'm just going to use this time to rub on him. I'll unsaddle him.
Yeah. Fingers are so crippled up.
Can't get him in
Let him come down. I pushed him pretty good there anyway. It's always important to know when to quit. Sometimes it's a hard thing to figure out. I'll let him smell that if he wants to. But if he doesn't, that's okay. Just gonna rub on him. Rub on his legs. Check his tail. Is he tight? Shouldn't be by now. If he's still tight, wouldn't be very good. I'd be a little careful there. I'd step away if I stayed in beside him. If something spooked him, he'd come over top of me. Be aware of your situations. Rub on him in there. That feels pretty good. Working his mouth. Check him out all over. See if he'll stay. He's get used to all this. It's all good stuff. Still looking at that saddle a little. Pick up his foot.
A minute and a half to go. As soon as Dustin is finished, he'll be doing a question and answer with Cade. Be able to watch that up here on the big screen. Should be pretty interesting.
When you're working with Colt's hind legs, if you can keep them low to the ground when you pick them up, it'll help you out a lot better. They'll feel a lot more comfortable, even if you're trimming them first time or shoeing them. The lower you can keep that foot to the ground, the better, the more apt they are to stand. Save your farrier getting kicked. They'll get to where you can pick them up higher as they go along, but on a green horse, that works pretty good.
30 seconds.
That's a pretty good spot just to leave him alone, I think. He's had a pretty good session.
Wow.